Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen.
What is going on, everybody? This is episode 32 of Get Geeked with your boy, Danny Allen. It's me, your host. Yeah, another week has gone by in the entertainment industry, and there's some stuff to talk about. Yes, we got Ant-Man, the Marvels. We got Scream 6 leaks, opening numbers, reportedly, Nev Campbell fans. Oh yeah, we'll get into that. I Am Legend 2. Wow, Will Smith back on track with his career, right? Then we got The Cursed Child, a live action adaptation. Yeah, with the original cast. We'll get into it. And then to close out the show, we'll talk about the Flash trailer that just debuted at the Super Bowl this past weekend. Oh yeah. Yes indeed. It's a stacked episode, and we're gonna get into it. So let's start off with this Ant-Man stuff. Yeah, I saw Ant-Man. It's the second worst rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes, the MCU. It has the quality dipped. Yeah, I think it has. And I had a fun time with Ant-Man. Okay, it wasn't the worst movie in the MCU, but when I use the term fun, I expect Marvel to be on another level with their writing, especially after Endgame. And this is supposed to kick off Phase 5, and yet it just it was this subpar. It was mid. The CGI was terrible, man. It was terrible. Well, you expect the Quantum Realm to look like? Well, I expect the blue screen and the color grade to be better than that. I said it before. The trailer looked like Spy Kids 3D, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and yes, it looked exactly like that in the movie. MODOK looked terrible. It was clearly unfinished CGI. Well, MODOK is supposed to look terrible and bad and gross. And listen, there's a character's appearance, and then there's the quality of the CGI. Those are two different things. It's shitty CGI. Even if you could have done a practical MODOK face, and then CGI'd everything else around him or something. But they chose to do full CGI. It looked waxy. It's just. And I don't want to tear this whole movie apart, because the relationship between Ant-Man and his daughter Cassie was perfect in this movie. Michael Douglas was killing it in this movie. Michelle Pfeiffer was killing it in this movie. The cast did a great job. It was just the script. It was like Cliff Notes. The movie was 2 hours, and they tried to do a lot in those 2 hours. There was a whole civilization within the quantum realm. There's humans in the quantum realm, but there's humans on Earth, and they don't explain why there's humans in the quantum realm. They do a lot, and they don't explain a lot, and they're trying to be bigger than they really are. And yeah, it's just this whole thing with we have to go to the quantum realm, and time doesn't exist. But then in the Ant-Man sequel, Michelle Pfeiffer's character comes back, and she's obviously she's older, but I thought she doesn't age in the quantum realm. It doesn't make no sense to me. She was gone for 30 years. And then I'm sure there's a lot more plot holes or whatever in this movie. Kang, he did his thing for the stuff that they gave him to do. Whenever Kang was on screen, I was with it. The power levels were kind of hit and miss. Ant-Man was just straight up scrapping with him. But in other parts, he was just able to freeze Ant-Man and Cassie, and they weren't able to move at all. So they were kind of inconsistent on Kang's power and what he actually can do. He got his power from his suit, apparently. And that suit was getting damaged, so maybe his power levels were decreasing from that. But that's all, it wasn't explicitly said in the movie. And another thing with Kang, his whole backstory, they kind of glossed it over, dude. Compared to Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, how you see those variants killing Doctor Strange, and Thanos was dead there. You see the alternate timeline, and you see Professor X and that version of the Avengers dealing with Doctor Strange. We see that whole flashback play out and like why they had to do what they had to do. But with Kang, it's like an instant, and you barely see anything with the multiverse and the timelines. And he talks about, "Oh, are you Thor?" They didn't show any scenes with Kang killing previous variants of the Avengers. I just felt like they went cheap, even though this movie cost $200 million apparently. Wow, they really botched the CGI for the $200 million. And yeah, dude, when it comes to Kang and his backstory, he says he's killed so many Avengers and he's destroyed multiple timelines. He says a lot, but we don't really see much of any of that. And I don't want to be like, well, the movie should have done this and should have done that. The movie we got, it was very Cliff Notes. It was a Cliff Notes version, and every scene left me wanting more. And when this movie wrapped up, I was like, oh, really? Like, this is what they're doing? With the ants? If you don't know by now, this is a spoiler review. Ants take out Kang. Yeah. But then they really didn't take him out, because then he starts boxing Ant-Man. And then, I don't know, the whole thing was like a romp. They wanted to do the sci-fi space romp. And it just really took, like, the CGI, and it just looked like they were on the set. Like, it just took me out of it. And then MODOK, I complained about his looks, but what MODOK did in the movie, I was fine with. It was okay that they changed his backstory, and that wasn't an issue for me. Ultimately, his redemption arc and trying to be not a dick or whatever, that was cool. I didn't buy into the fact that he didn't look real. And like Thanos was a CGI creation, but he looked pretty real, photorealistic. And at this point in the MCU, when we've gotten Endgame and we've gotten an Infinity War, I expect the CGI to maintain that level of quality. And even in the Endgame and Infinity War, they were starting to really. There were certain scenes, which like the obvious blue screen or whatever, but they normally do a great job of blending in the actors with the backgrounds. But lately, man, it's just not sufficient, dude. It's not sufficient. Overall, Ant-Man was a fun watch. I definitely liked it better than the last Ant-Man movie. And the humor was always on point, it's Paul Rudd doing his thing. It's what we've known to love about these Ant-Man movies. They just tried to go big in scale, but the side plot that they gave us and the character designs of like the people in the quantum realm, it was just not. They were trying to do like a Star Wars type of thing, and just didn't. It didn't feel right. I don't know. Especially knowing there's humans in there. There was humans in there. They didn't know about Earth, but they're human looking. I don't know. Yeah, I give it like a C+, like a 7.8. Like it was a good watch. I can definitely tell some of the Rick and Morty writers were helping with the script. There's a lot of Rick and Morty type humor. But yeah, it was just. What do you guys think of Ant-Man? There's like a whole discourse online right now. It's got a 50% Rotten Tomatoes. Half the critics like it, half the critics hate it, and then the audience has got like an 86%. So the audience is vibing with it. What does that say about the industry as far as the critics go? Like how are they looking at these movies, and then how is the audience looking at these movies? Obviously, they are looking at it with a more of a critical eye, and then whereas the general audience, they're like, they have fun, it's a good movie, cool. They don't even know, it's surface level. And that's ultimately, this is not like the Dune of the Ant-Man franchise, okay? This is not like high art, okay? This is not Blade Runner, okay? Even though they're trying to make it look like Blade Runner, it's like a Cliff Notes version, and it's like McDonald's. I don't know. What do you guys think of Ant-Man? Let me know in the comments. Yes, moving on. The Marvels. Keeping up with the Marvel section of this podcast. New poster for the Marvels. Got our first look. Brie Larson. Yeah, they're back. And I'm not really. Listen, I liked Miss Marvel. I liked the show. It started off great, and it kind of fizzled out for me or try-hard Peter Parker friend that's not Peter Parker. Just a high school kind of Lizzie McGuire feel. It wasn't really for me. But their home stuff, like her family and all that stuff, it worked really well. And then they try to add their MCU-isms to it with the Shield type task force. I forgot, damage control or whatever, trying to kidnap her. The show kind of just went off the rails a little bit for me. Even though the direction and the cinematography was pretty creative, Miss Marvel kind of fell off at the very end. Captain Marvel, I dug the 90s era, and they were attempting to like de-age Samuel Jackson. That was really cool. Overall, what they did with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, she was fine in the movie. The Skrulls, I know people were like, well, the Skrulls weren't really evil, and there was the whole thing. It's not a movie that I go back to often. And then they kind of make her this Mary Sue type in Endgame, right? Or Infinity War. Saves the day or whatever, flies in, destroys everything, starts murking. So, yeah, Captain Marvel was fine. And then, what's the chick from WandaVision? Phasma? I don't know her name. Photon? Yeah, Photon. We don't really know much about her at all, so yeah, I just think this poster's really uninspired, and it's just them stacked with a Google image of a galaxy, and it's just, I don't know, I think they can do something a lot better. And then they pushed back the movie like 3 or 4 months from a summer release to November, and I don't think that's to touch up the cinematography or to touch up the CGI. They wanted to swap places with Haunted Mansion. I think the film is locked, and they're already pretty much done with this movie, if not close to being done. I don't think pushing it 4 months is really going to change anything, especially the VFX. So, yeah, not much to say about the Marvels. It's not really one of my most anticipated projects from the MCU at this point. I think my next one I'm stoked for is Loki, which comes out this summer. And then later on we get Secret Invasion, which I'm super looking forward to. So, yeah, the movie side, not so much, but the shows that they got coming out, I'm hyped for. What did you guys think about the Marvels poster? Is it just more of the same kind of a poster? Do you like the poster? Let me know in the comments section. Yes. Alright, we're done with the Marvel stuff. Next up, okay, let's get into this. Neve Campbell fans, I need an apology. Okay, I made a video a couple podcasts back of why Neve Campbell is not needed in this franchise that is Scream anymore. Oh, well, Neve Campbell is Scream. Without Neve Campbell, there would be no Scream. Okay, well, you don't really know that. Okay, that's just your what if. Okay, well, what we know now is Scream 6 has the biggest tracking for the opening weekend ever in the whole franchise. It's tracking to make like 37 million opening weekend. The biggest since Scream 3, and this doesn't have Neve Campbell, okay? And it brings me into another point. What has changed since Scream 5 and the release of Scream 6? Oh, that's right. Jenna Ortega in Wednesday. Culturally relevant, big zeitgeist show, one of the biggest shows on Netflix. She's blown up with X. She's doing things. She's doing SNL soon. And I got rolled for it on TikTok. Oh, well, fucking Neve Campbell is she's an OG and she deserves this money. And it's like, dude, and I'll say it again, Neve Campbell isn't an in-demand actress right now like Jenna Ortega is. Okay? Neve Campbell hasn't had a string of hits like a Jenna Ortega has recently. And from the marketing, from the numbers, the franchise doesn't need Neve Campbell anymore. Jenna Ortega alone will sell this movie. They've been using her in all the marketing. And then you add So yeah, that's it. I'm going to end it there. Neve Campbell fans owe me an apology. This is looking to be the biggest opening for Scream ever. And it doesn't even have Neve Campbell. They don't need her. Okay. And it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Scream has never been this popular. Okay? And that's crazy to say, but that's the reality we're living in. Ghostface is the face, and Jenna Ortega is, of course, she's helping promote the movie. And that's the first half of the Scream news, right? The opening weekend is going to be huge. It's going to be huge, guys. The second half of this is the Scream ending leaked. Somebody leaked the ending reveal. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I've got into it with people on Twitter. Oh, well, fucking people are going to get spoiled now because there's spoilers on the internet. And, oh, we should, why do we live like this? And, like, they were, like, super butthurt, right? And I'm like, listen, guy. You only got spoiled because you're on Twitter looking at Scream 6 hashtags. You're in that little pocket, like the 5% of people watching Scream. You're in that 5% that's looking for, like, theories about Scream 6. Who are the killers? Or who's the killer in Scream 6? Oh, is this Stu in Scream 6? Like, you guys are involved in this thing. When the general audience, the other 95% of people, they aren't actively looking for Scream 6 stuff. They see the trailers on TV. They see trailers when they're watching YouTube. They're not scrolling Scream 6 on Twitter, okay? Trying to get spoiled. You're looking to get spoiled at this point. And I told the guy, I was like, listen, man, I didn't know about the leak until I saw you tweet about it. So thanks, bro. I took it upon myself to look it up myself. Because I told him, I'd rather take the power back. If anybody's going to spoil it, it's going to be me. It's not going to ruin the movie. Now when I watch the movie, I'm going to look and see, like, oh, okay, I can see it from a different angle. I'm over this whole spoiler era. Like, oh, we're going to get spoiled. When you got people on Reddit actively trying to leak spoilers, people they love spoilers. It doesn't ruin the experience, okay? And if it does, well, don't be on Twitter a month before the movie's coming out. You know there's stuff gonna get leaked. You know it, bro. This is the internet. What are you new to this? People knew about the Peter Parker's in No Way Home like a year before the movie came out. A year. The Ant-Man plot got leaked months ago. Okay, and I read the leaks. I knew what those post-credit scenes were going to be. Did it ruin the experience for me? No, it didn't. The shitty movie ruined the experience for me. And it wasn't even that shitty. It's just like the CGI, and I keep going back to the CGI. Take your time. So Scream 6 is not going to get ruined for me. Because, oh, I knew who did it the whole time. No. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. Okay? I don't know. Don't go online. Or if you do go online, mute those words. Be proactive, because nobody owes you. Like, you're so entitled to, like, oh, I don't want any spoilers, so nobody should tweet about it. It's like, bro, nobody owes you anything. Like, the fandom is so entitled that they think that they own the internet and it's just private to them, and especially if you are a YouTube creator and you have somewhat of a fan base and you do live streams, you will have spoilers in your comment sections, in your lives. You should know this proactively, and don't put that back to social media like you're the one that finally is gonna make a change, bro. No, there's spoilers online, dude. 4chan, Reddit, Twitter. If you are on social media like that, making content, especially if you're making horror content, dude, you should know better. You should know better. And I know what comes with the territory, making YouTube videos, making Scream content, making Halloween content. I know what's at risk. If you have your notifications on and you're looking at all your comments, you're like, oh shit, somebody else commented. Somebody's going to tweet at you. Somebody's going to comment on your videos, the spoilers, try to sort of ruin it for you. So it's up to you to react how you want to react. But this is just the environment we are in now, and it's up to you, the viewer, the creator, whoever. It's up to you to make that change, to be proactive about avoiding spoilers. And the way I've done that is I've taken it into my own hands. I'm taking the power back. So I'll spoil myself, dude. I don't care. At this point, I don't care anymore. Because the content is either good or it's not. So what do you guys think about this Scream news, the opening weekends, the Nev Campbell fans attacking me for no reason other than they're salty that she's no longer culturally relevant like Jenna Ortega? And then what do you think about these leaks? Are you bummed that the ending of Scream got leaked? Are you bummed, or did you not know about it? Is it up to Twitter to censor it for you, or can you be an adult, or can you just... You don't even have to be an adult because it might be a teenager or whatever. Even if you're a teenager now, you know there's spoilers out there. Even worse, there's no excuse for Gen Z. So nobody owes you anything. And that's that for Scream 6. Coming up next, I Am Legend. We were just talking about Will Smith and how will he get his career back from slapping Chris Rock? How is that going to go? Is he going to be in turmoil? Is his career over? I don't think his career went anywhere. Since then, he was in Emancipation for Apple Plus. He's doing Bad Boys 4. And now we got this I Am Legend sequel. Homeboy died at the end of I Am Legend. Spoilers. But guess what? There's an alternate ending on the DVD. Apparently, alternate endings can be canon now. The status quo for years was, hey man, if it's a deleted scene or if it's a deleted alternate ending on the DVD, it's still not canon. Whatever is the theatrical, that's the canon version. That was been the rules, right? For years. Not anymore. Not anymore. I Am Legend 2, they were using the alternate ending to further the plot of this sequel, taking place decades later, with Michael B. Jordan apparently joining the cast. And they're very inspired by The Last of Us. So, yeah, I Am Legend was somewhat of a zeitgeist movie back in, 2007? It was cool. I liked it. I saw it in the theaters. Is it a movie I revisit? Not really. I don't like when animals get harmed, and when, the whole plot was like the dog, him and his dog. So it's like a John Wick kind of thing. I don't like to rewatch that first John Wick, or I fast forward it. Do I want an I Am Legend sequel? I can go with or without it. It's not like a Bad Boys, but yes, give me more Bad Boys. I Am Legend is I Am Legend. I'd rather we get a 28 Days Later sequel, 28 months later, if it was up to me. But we are getting I Am Legend 2 instead. Michael B. Jordan, cool. He's been on a track. That's what's up. Was he going to play... He can't play his son, right? He's going to play somebody. But yeah, the alternate opening, they find like a bunch of people, and it's like a sanctuary, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. So what is it? Is it going to be a breach? And now they got to fend for themselves? I don't know what could happen. Are you excited for I Am Legend 2? Will Smith, obviously, his career's gone nowhere but up. It's going nowhere but up. Comment below and let's chat about it. Let's have a conversation. Will Smith, I Am Legend 2. Okay, today is just a drama-filled episode, right? Oh my gosh. Harry Potter. Oh yeah. Harry Potter. We just got like David Zaslav last month. Like, oh yeah, dude, we need to farm some more Harry Potter content because Hogwarts Legacy is huge. It's one of the most streamed games and it just barely came out. And then you got the LGBTQ trying to force people to boycott Harry Potter because they don't like what J.K. Rowling has to say. Nobody can have an opinion these days, but J.K. Rowling's opinions could be considered factual. It just depends, dude. Like where you stand on this LGBTQ, where you stand on this thing. People are boycotting the game, but there's a lot of people buying the game just to spite those people. But that's like totally irrelevant, dude. If you play the game, if you watch the movies, it doesn't matter what J.K. Rowling has to say. She can say whatever she wants. If you like Harry Potter, you like Harry Potter, dude. It's got no bearing on anything. So yes, there's some news. Apparently, David Zaslav, Warner Brothers, they want to bring back the original cast. And what did we just say a couple weeks ago? Rupert, what's his name? Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley. He stated, he's like, hey man, I think I'm good with Harry Potter. You can pass the torch along and do a reboot series on HBO Max. That's what he said. And then you got Daniel Radcliffe saying, hey man, I'm not ready to come back to Harry Potter. I'm doing Weird Al. I'm doing Guns Akimbo or whatever. I'm playing these crazy characters, these super different movies. He's like, I'm kind of not ready to come back to Harry Potter. Maybe in another 10 years I'll be ready to come back. No, according to Warner Brothers, they don't want them to wait. They want to bring them back. And apparently it's going to be for a Cursed Child movie. Oh my god, it's the Cursed Child. Oh, well, it's not really canon because J.K. Rowling only had a part in the story and it's really for the play and it's not really canon. Listen, it's canon. J.K. Rowling wrote the story. Even if she had writers on it to help flesh out the whole thing, it came from J.K. Rowling. It's canon, guys. That's what happens to Harry Potter. That's what happens. So it doesn't matter what your thoughts are. It's not gonna get retconned. It's not gonna change. The Cursed Child is canon. And they want to make a movie. Warner Brothers wants to do a live action adaptation of that. Will the cast come back? I think Zaslav can convince them. They got mad money, and Harry Potter is always gonna make money. That's just the way it is. They got the whole park situation at Universal. Harry Potter is very huge, very big, and I think the actors, they may be hesitant, but get them all in a room, give them a script, and who knows what happens. I want it. I want to see this happen. That was my generation. Okay, the last movie came out, and I was like graduating high school. Well, 2011. I was like a junior in high school. I literally aged up with those guys. So having them come back in their early 30s, late 20s, or whatever, if it's Cursed Child, they're in their 30s. I think it's a good idea. And the only people crying are, once again, like the 5% of people that care about things like whether the Cursed Child is canon or not. When 95% of the movie-going audience, they don't care. They want to see Harry Potter. They want to see Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint come back. Reprise their roles. Bust out that Cursed Child movie, and hey, it doesn't have to be a trilogy. Just make one more movie, and then those actors can go do whatever they want. What do you think about the Cursed Child? I could go for a reboot about Hogwarts on HBO Max. I don't think they want to go that route. They want to have this cast stick around as long as possible, because that's the real money makers. They weren't in Fantastic Beasts. Those movies went downhill, one after another, boom, boom, boom. Then Johnny Depp had to get out of there for some reason. And then the last one put a nail in the coffin. Sucked. That was the worst movie of last year. Yeah. Sucked. Wasn't the cast's fault. That was Warner Brothers' fault for taking Johnny Depp out of that role and ruining the verisimilitude. It ruined the immersion that was Grindelwald. The whole relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald was the whole thing. And you change out your main actor in the third movie? No, dude, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. It ruins the whole vibe. I was like, oh yeah, this is fake. I don't know. I will ride or die for Harry Potter, bro. I enjoyed the Cursed Child. I liked what they did with Harry's kids. And I think that would be a good way to go about it, because then you can have Harry's kids in there. And if you want to have a trilogy, you don't always have to have the main cast after you have that Cursed Child movie. You can do sequels with his kids. And then maybe they'll take a step back. They'll still be in it kind of, but they don't have to be the main focus. There's a way to do it, guys. What do you guys think the Cursed Child in live action? Do you want it? Do you hate the Cursed Child? Are you mad about the time travel elements and Voldemort has kids? Are you mad about it? Come on, bro. Voldemort was on his game. He was that dude for a while, okay? I'm here for it. Bring everybody back. Let's keep this Potter train going. Let's go back to Hogwarts with the OG cast for one more time at least. Let's do this. Okay, what do you guys think about Cursed Child? And to close out the show, it's kind of old news at this point. The Flash trailer. By now, you probably have seen it. Both Ben Affleck is back. Michael Keaton has stole that whole trailer. We got the blue and gray bat suit for Batfleck. And then we also have a blue and gray suit for Keaton, but that's in his wardrobe with the other suits. And there's so many Batman references, and there's still fans online. Michael Keaton might be playing Thomas Wayne still. There's no proof. No, there's proof, my guy. He's playing Batman. He's playing Bruce Wayne. Now, is it going to be the same Bruce Wayne from Batman 89 and Batman Returns? That remains to be seen. Yeah, he's got the same suits and the same musical score. Danny Elfman's score is still the same. But I'm not convinced that's the same version. I think we're dealing with a variant here of Bruce Wayne. It just doesn't make sense to me that, Barry can go from present day back in time and all of a sudden Ben Affleck's not Batman anymore. And then all of a sudden you get Michael Keaton's version of Batman. Is he going to different Earths, or is he going to back in time to his timeline on his Earth? Because what's established in the Flash TV series, you need vibes portals to go from Earth to Earth. Barry can go back in time, but that's linear. That's like a loop on his Earth. But there's like multiversal travel, and then there's like time travel. They need to explain that, or we're gonna get into some Ant-Man territory where they're glossing over plot points and his cliff notes. I don't want cliff notes. I'm telling you right now, the Flash looks a lot more put together than this Ant-Man trailer was. I'm very excited for the Flash. Kind of already talked about this. I really like what they're doing with just bringing back Michael Keaton. And say what you will about Ezra Miller, people are going to see this movie for Batman, regardless of what's going on with Ezra. And yeah, even Jason Momoa's like, "Hey dog, I seen your trailer. I'm proud of you, dog. Like, let's go, aloha." So Jason's on board, everybody's on board, and you got the 5% of people that know what's going on with Ezra. Allegedly, he's only been charged with stealing some booze, right? Everything else is alleged. Everything else is conjecture. It's you being salty. It's you projecting your feelings into the situation. Whereas the facts are the facts, and you can only go off of what's been proven. Yeah, dude. The Flash trailer. I'm here for it. Most anticipated DC film coming up so far this year, right? There's so many breakdown videos you can watch. Overall, it was well put together, and I believe James Gunn's words when he says it's one of the best movies he's ever seen, superhero movies he's ever seen. People are complaining about the CGI in the Flash movie, but dude, it's like night and day between Ant-Man, dude. Like, I wear glasses, bro, and I can tell it looks fantastic. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Batman. I'll be there. I said it last week. I'm gonna be there for it. It's Batman. Both Batman. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Episode 32. Getting geeked. It's your boy. Have a good one. Deuces.
Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked. Gettin Geeked with Danny Allen.